and gentlemen, the books is in. The books are in. Yep. They're in. They're here.
Peace and Black African Power. Welcome back to Kofi Piesie TV. I am Rennie E. Kofi Piesie, ETM Hotep, Dawoud, Aku, Necher, Fatmu Alafiye, Fatmu Riri, Fatmu Majuba Iba E. Majuba Iba E Gungun, Majuba Iba E Gungun, Majuba Iba E Lakba, Majuba Iba E Lakba. We always want to give honor and praises to the ancestors, because without the ancestors, we wouldn't be here. We are our ancestors. Again, please like and share the show. Peace to those that are in the chat. Peace to those that may be listening in the archives. We got another special guest today that we'll be interviewing. Before we get into the interview and get into the show, I have two of my good brothers from Kofi Piesie Research Team. We have Sutek Akande Uyani Olawa, and we have Brother Vasa Nicolo Gullah on the panel. Y'all can go ahead.
I'll go ahead, Sutek.
Share Lafayette Need. Peace to the family. Peace to the brothers on the panel. Peace to those that will view this later. We black at you again, man. Kofi Piesie TV, Kofi Piesie Research Team. We're about to get into what I think will be a good interview. So make sure you like and share the show as you come in. And once again, appreciate y'all for coming through.
Peace, everyone listening in the audience and in the future audience as well. Peace to the brothers on the panel. Very interested for this conversation. I'm gonna go to mute and finish getting set up, sharing and all that stuff. And happy to be here. Y'all put some smiles on and enjoy the day. It look like it's pretty outside.
All right. Again, like I say, y'all, please like and share the show with those that you think that may be interested in this info. Oh, we got Brother Satep and Ra Miriaman on the panel. You got anything, Brother Satep, before we get started?
Just peace to the brother on the panel. Peace to all my other brothers on the panel, and peace to the chat.
All right. I'm going to share my screen, something we are formality that we go through before we get into the interview. Let me know when my screen is sharing. Peace to my wife that's in the chat. Peace to Omni Africa TV. That's our good brother, newest member of Kofi Piesie Research Team, Chris Marshall. Shout out to his wife, China. Peace to Arnestic Nzinga. I know I might have said your name wrong. And any others that are looking that's not comment in the chat. Y'all, in my screen sharing?
Now it is.
All right. Let me go up here to the top. Okay. All right. Again, like I said, welcome back. This is another episode 6 of Warrior Scholars, a show that we started maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. This is our 6th guest, Ali Dawoud. As I learned, we all learn. This is the stand that we live by over here on Kofi Piesie Research Team and Mossi Warrior Clan. As I learned, we all learn. We must not let our ancestors down, and we're definitely trying to please our ancestors. And today's show is dedicated to John Henry Clarke. For those that may not know who John Henry Clarke is, John Henry Clarke is a Pan-Africanist. He's a historian. He's a writer. He's a teacher. He's a a lecturer amongst other things. So Majuba Iba E. John G. Jackson. Also, please go out, and if you hadn't purchased any one of our publications, please go get it. These publications: Spirits of the Mossi, from Spirits of Pen, One Night Before Bed, Kalawa's Trip to the Motherland. As I learned, we all learn, from Cocaine to Consciousness, and Spiritual Combat. It is available on KofiPiesie.tv.com. Also, again, go cop that new publication we put out about a month and a half ago. And again, y'all know the statement now. During the pandemic, Kofi Piesie TV made history. Also, go to copy a dope shirt. We got a shirt, Warrior Scholar shirt with the logo of Warrior Scholars on the front, with the Warrior standing on the textbook, with the shields of Kofi Piesie Research Seal and the Master Warrior Clan Seal and Warrior Scholar on the back. You can get that at Family Connected Apparel. That is in, or you can just type in your Google chat Mboka Family Connected Apparel, or go to www.familyconnectapparel.com. All right, before we get started, like I said, we always have to break down and give terms or definitions. What a warrior is, what a scholar is, and what we deem what a warrior and scholar is, so y'all can follow us along in the interview. A warrior is from the Old North French wara, or the Kora wara, soldier, combative, one who wages war. From wara, wages war. From ware, see war. Warrior, a person engaged in experiencing in warfare. Broadly, a person engaged in some struggle or conflict. A person who attends a school or studies under a teacher, a pupil. A person who has done advanced studies in special fields. Again, a person who has done advanced study in special fields. And it does not always have to be what the norm is. A learned person, a holder of scholarship, scholar, a person who studies a subject in great detail, especially at the university. Somebody else popped in? If it is, somebody let them on the panel, please. All right, Kofi Piesie perspective of what a warrior scholar is. My meaning of a warrior scholar is someone who is well-studied, waging war against mistruths, pseudoisms, and willing to stand on the battlefield against institutions and platforms that promote that. A warrior scholar is someone who is on a mission for the truth, for accurate and sound information. A warrior scholar is one who has discipline, good character, morals, and willing to fight back against those who use misinformation dangerous. T'Challa perspective of a warrior scholar is a warrior is one who is embedded in the journey of self-mastery through rigorous physical training and in the effort to better one's statement of being. A warrior is one who is embarked in the journey of self-mastery through countless hours of meditation in an effort to learn the art of stillness, becoming harmonious with their environment and all its existence. A warrior is molded and guided and torn down and built up so that their people may live and continue to proliferate. Those who seek this path are invaluable gifts of humility and knows that their place among hierarchy of their people. But what does a warrior have to do with a scholar? A scholar is one who is embodied all of the concepts mentioned above with the focus of geared towards scientific literacy. Literacy as a whole, one must first be able to read and then develop superb reading and comprehension skills in order to properly relay a message received through one's scholastic endeavors. Proper demonstration and methodology is a style of discipline or field of study and the only way to reach a proper conclusion. So a warrior scholar is one who fights on behalf of the universal truth, one who seeks the truth truly, sets the standards of combats of omnipresent misinformation, one who stays in their lane and does not portray themselves as a master swordsman if they specialize in the spirit. Piesie perspective of warrior, which is the last one, warrior scholars are those who those with the ability to speak the truth in the hardest time war, those who speak for the voiceless and weary, lost, broken, but not defeated. They give hope, courage, wisdom, and direction to all our people. They defend all that is true, all that never expose what is sacred to us all, they demonstrate what is most sacred to us all, our place of existence. And our constant fight for perfection, just think, there's stories and testimonies that the sword is not mightier than the pen. If the pen is held by a righteous man, while a righteous man teaches a sword, while a righteous man teaching a sword and a spear can waste blood as swiftly as a fool wastes ink. All right. Now, before we get into the interview, I hope the brother don't mind. Ali, I hope you don't mind. I had to throw up some pictures so people can see how serious you are when it comes to the subject matter that we're going to be dealing with today, man. And whoever took these pictures, man, these were some dope pictures, man. I just wanted to throw these pictures up here. You can see our brother, man. He's about his business, man. When it comes, and in this picture too, we're gonna talk about that picture too. Is this a form or something dealing with your aquaponic system, Ali?
It is.
Okay, know that. We gonna get into all that. Let me stop sharing the screen, and let me get back over here. All right. And again, peace to everybody's in the chat. I see we have more people that join us in the chat. So peace to everybody in the chat. I hope y'all enjoyed this interview. Brother Ali Dawoud, could you please introduce yourself for people that may not know who you are?
Peace and Black African Power family. I am the God Ali Dawoud. I'm a Brooklyn dude, right? I left and joined the Navy when I was 17. Went around the world, seen a lot of different things. I settled down in South Florida, and for the first time, I was actually able to establish a steady foundation, right? And now I'm a urban farmer, right? Some people call me an urban genius. I like that because it makes me feel powerful, right? But that's me though, right? I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a man with a plan, and I care about my people, and my people are defined as those that care about me and that I care about, right? Everybody else, they just fodder. They in the way.
No doubt, no doubt. Before we get into the questions and stuff, man, we always ask the guests. Let me pull up my questions too, real quick. I got them over here. But yeah, we always ask, name some of your favorite warrior scholars, and it don't have to be anybody that published a book. It could be somebody that's definitely in the field of study that you're in.
Nah, that's peace. To be honest, the same warrior scholars that you got, John Henry Clark, George Jackson, Dr. Ben, Ivan Sertima. Like today, Professor Smalls is like the one that I lean to, right? Before he passed, Dr. Sabi was a big influence on me, right? Like listen to him talk and the way that he teach. He sounded like my grandfather telling a story, right? So it was about the meat and the substance. But in reference to farming itself, you know, it came from a possibility, right? Like a thought that I had that I could do, and I just pursued it. So in reference to that, I am my own master teacher in the making.
No doubt.
That in YouTube.
No doubt. You definitely, man. Like I said, I've been going back looking at some of your old posts on Instagram. You know, I always go across them always when you post on Instagram or you post your YouTube channel. I always get the message, so I always go in there and try to check and see what you got, man. And then just me going back and looking, like I said, it's definitely and it's inspiring. And even with the method of what you're using now, man, that's definitely, man, inspiring. So we're gonna get into that, man. So and you said you're an urban farmer, right? So how long, man, have you been farming, and what was the first thing that you ever grew?
I think this process has been going on for this is my 5th year. Excuse me. This is my 5th year of actually farming. It started out with me building my aquaponics system a little over 4.5 years ago. Building that from the ground up, literally leveling the ground, buying the paving stones to create the floor and a steady foundation, buying the IBC totes, the PVC pipes, connecting everything together. But after that, like it took me like a whole year to figure out exactly what to plant, right? I really wasn't, I didn't get into this knowing about farming or gardening or anything botany related at all. I heard a interview on NPR that said 120 square foot garden could feed a family of 4 for a year. And I was intrigued by that. So, you know, I did an experiment. And the first thing I thought about putting together was the aquaponics system. And that's where I started. The first thing I ever actually grew was black-eyed peas. And it wasn't me. It was my son. He was in 3rd grade. And part of his science class, they was doing a lesson on photosynthesis. And they had to sprout seeds. And when I came home from work one day, he was so excited. He was like, "Daddy, look what I got." Right? It grew. And when it grew, I immediately was excited and upset with myself at the same time. Because for a whole year, I wasted trying to overthink and figure out what I should grow, what people will like for me to grow. Like I was just in my head about a bunch of dumb stuff. Meanwhile, something that came out of my cupboard, it should have been the first thing that I grew.
No doubt. So your son, so you saying your son is, you know, is in the farming as well?
No, he did that for a class experiment, class project. And I'm one of those people, right, that if I see that it works, right, and it's not compromising me morally and it's not illegal, I'm with it. Right. Like let's not even waste any time. Let's just do it. So it was just easy. So I just sprouted a bunch of beans, and you know, you get those bags like 16 bean soup or 9 bean soup, like everything in that bag, you can sit in some water and sprout and start gardening and start growing right now.
Right, no doubt. Hold on.
Let me pause right there because that's interesting, man. I did not know that. I actually got a 15 bean soup in my cupboard right now. I usually use it to make like some bean dip. I'll put a smoked turkey tail, put some type of smoked meat in there, turkey, and but I didn't know you could drop one of them right on in some water, and you can start a little plant from that, huh?
Yeah, man. You take a handful of them joints, put them in a Ziploc bag with a damp paper towel, and put a piece of tape and stick it onto your windowsill. In about 3 or 4 days, you'll have sprouts. And everything that sprout, put it in some dirt. Everything that don't, throw it away or eat it.
Now, Kofi, I got a couple. I don't know if you got the email I sent. I sent you an email this morning. I got a couple questions dealing with gardening.
Well, if you got them pulled up, cause man, I
got them pulled up. I got them on my computer.
Okay.
Yeah, I got them while we talking about it. If you don't.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm brother Satepara too. I don't know if I introduced myself earlier.
And that's the brother I was telling you about, Ali, that I signed your Instagram and your
word, no doubt.
Yeah. And real quick, before you go in too, cause like I say, he's before you go in, man, just real quick. So we, I don't want to gloss over this because, what he's doing is very important. So I don't want people to, to gloss over what he's doing because he's actually doing something. And like I said, he's definitely inspiring me. And I'm gonna definitely try to make it happen on these 2 acres of land I got to try to put something out.
Too much land, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah, I'll go crazy, man. Oh my God.
So and I'm saying that is because, without this development, without agriculture and farming, there will be no permanent, there will be no permanent civilizations. And I'm going to say that again, without farming or agriculture, there will be no permanent civilization. Because if you go back and look, you know, you would see that most of us were hunter gatherers, you know, and we moved where the food was. And until this development come where they was able to make these certain tools to cultivate the land and to plant and grow things, where people was able to, where human beings were able to be stable in one place and create civilization. So again, y'all, please don't gloss over what this brother is doing, man. You know what I'm saying? Forming an agriculture, man, it saved us. Because even if you look and you study at the population, it actually increased the human population because there was a plethora of food that even, you know, caused where economics in a sense of sort of barter and trade. You know, if I didn't grow a certain thing or didn't have a certain thing, or I wasn't a farmer, I could trade material with him. So it also was a survival mechanism, because you can see at one point in time, a lot of people, the population wasn't a lot because a lot of people was dying because they was hunting for food. I had to go hours out just to find food for their family. So a lot of times they didn't know where the next meal was coming from. So again, without this new development of what we call farming, agriculture, man, there will be no permanent civilizations, man. So please don't gloss over what this brother is actually doing, man. I definitely wanted to throw that out, man. So go ahead, Satel.
Yeah, man. What the brother doing is very powerful, man. If you can't feed yourself and you can't feed your seeds, the brother said, "I'm a father, black father." Look at it. Part of that is, you know, you got to be able to, and it says, "I am a king." A king got to be able to feed his nation. This brother is feeding his nation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's feeding his nation. So, yes, my hat is off to you. So one of the first questions that I have, hold on, why I do that? Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I had enlarged you, man. You were speaking, so I just
Oh,
enlarged.
okay. I want to see the bro. I want to see everybody. Yeah. So I got a couple questions dealing with the garden. Do you start your seeds in a greenhouse?
A greenhouse. Do I start my seeds in a greenhouse?
And the reason why I asked that, and I really should have retracted this because I didn't know you was in Florida. Like, you may not have to do that because I'm in a colder climate up here. So
Correct.
You know, yeah. So you may not. That's not something you may not have to do, but you know, some people do it.
Yeah. So I can answer that question, right? Because that goes into like further on. I think there's nothing that I could say that will be 100% for everybody, right? I live in South Florida, which is growing zone 10B, right?
Okay, that's one of my questions too. Is your climate zone?
Correct. We are tropical, right? So everything that's around, excuse me, that's surrounding Florida, that comes to the shores, that's fertilizing our soil from all of the Caribbean islands, Central and South America. Like, we get all that washing up on our soil. Everything that grows there can grow here, right? It just works. I went to St. Croix, was it last year before last? I bought back mad stuff, and it grows, right? So, but I also know that in different areas, because it gets colder, like I can grow collard greens all year long, right? But if you live in North Florida or in Georgia or South Carolina, something like that, like you can only grow during a certain time. You know, the rest of that you better have preserved, or you go in the Publix.
Right. Yeah, and that's good. That's good. You said that. I want to ask you another question. Do you refer to the Farmer's Almanac any?
So when I first, like, that's what I was telling Kofi, right? When he asked me about being on this show, I was like, man, Warrior Scholar, like, y'all boys are, like, y'all serious. Like, y'all be super duper researchers and scholars. And I did that. I bought 3 almanacs in my life, right?
Right.
And I looked at them, I researched them. But once I started growing stuff, I put it down, and I just started going with, like I said, I started with what I had in my house, and everything that I had in my house that could grow, I grew it. The things that I didn't have that I wanted, I found that if I use Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart as my living almanac, everything that they have available in the store at the time, like that's what's in season. So even if you didn't want to get your plants or your seeds from those locations, that's the time to actually plant those seeds. Right. So it's kind of like a cheat code that I use to that way I don't have to really be that smart, right? I can just live in the now and go by what my environment is telling me and move from there.
Right. That's a piece, man, because if, I believe if you're a beginner in this, getting a farmer's almanac is good. It's a good thing. Like you said,
Definitely.
you got 3 of them, and I got 2 of them because I did it 2 years. So if you starting out, that's why I'm asking these questions, is because these is for the listening audience. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So farmer's almanac for beginners, that's something that you should look into, y'all, because it tells you your climate zone, it tells you when to plant, it tells you when to harvest, all that stuff. So yeah.
Correct. But I just again though, like for me, and whenever I'm giving a message, I don't want to no limitations, right? Like don't get stuck in the book.
Right.
And remember that you actually are planning on putting a seed in the soil at some point. So you if you're gonna buy almanac and go by that, your plan is, if you buy it today, what can I plant tomorrow?
Right.
Right. So that's my pop. That's what's up. Kenneth McCrae. Peace, pop.
Okay.
Pop.
Peace,
All
pop.
right. All right, that's what's up. All right, so I have another question for you, my brother. Because I was looking at your page and I'm like, okay, he got some nice systems over there. So but what I want to ask you is, which plants do you prefer in raised garden beds?
So that's interesting. So I have a bunch of different systems, and I grow a bunch of different things, a bunch of the same things in different systems to see what grows better. And everything grows the best in aquaponics, right? Period, point blank. What I found though, in my raised grow beds, collard greens grows better than cabbage. I find that my cabbages grow bigger and faster when I plant them in the soil, in the ground themselves. Tomatoes, like so I had a lot of hit and misses too, right? Like so the thing about
go into it.
the thing about this, right? This is why I say you really can't get stuck in the book, because the book will say if you put this seed in the soil today, it's gonna germinate and sprout in 7 to 10 days, and then you take it from there, you put it in another size, and then you go through that process, right? The reality in real life is you could put a seed in the soil and it don't sprout and it don't grow, right? You can absolutely be doing the right things and still not get the right result. So, and it could be a bunch of different things. It could be your soil, like, is not ready for that seed, right? Like it is not mature enough to actually to fruit things, right? It could be your seed itself could be old, right? Or it could just be whatever, right? Like it can be a bunch of different things, so you can't give up. And that's why I say, like, the almanacs is cool, the books is cool, but if it's in your house already, that's what you want to use. That's what you want to start with, right? If you got potatoes, grow it. If you got whatever you got, carrots, I saw that, you can sprout carrots in the refrigerator, in the bag still. I was blown away. I was like, all you got to do is just don't close the bag and it'll sprout, right? But you can leave them on the counter. Like, there's a bunch of different things that you can do. So I'm all about no excuses, right? No limitations. I'm all about options, and that's how we win. So I forgot your question, brother.
No. You answered it, and then you elaborated on it, because I said, which vegetables do you like to plant in your raised garden beds? You said the cabbages. I want to move.
Can I throw in something before y'all get too far away from where y'all just was?
Yeah.
as far as seeds and things in the house. Another little trick you can do to kind of help see a success from your seeds, and a lot of people don't think of it, is soak them in water for up to 24 hours. And some people do it to a week on your seeds, and that will allow them to absorb the water and start processing that germination phase better a lot of times. Just
Okay.
soak them in a little bit of water.
Yeah, nah, that's peace. I find that longer soaks like that are good for like grains, like real thick seeds or things that's like real hardy, like oats. So that's like another thing, like another system I have, my fodder system, where I take wheat grains, barley, buckwheat, all kind of different just grains to make grass, and I use that to feed my chickens, and hopefully, if it really takes off, to feed all the other animals I'm gonna have on my farm as well. So yeah, that works best for those things. But yeah, that's peace.
All right. So I want to talk about the soil, because the soil is very important. So what I want to know is, how do you prepare your soil before planting?
So I'm a trial and error kind of guy,
Okay.
right? It took me 3 harvests before my soil for my potato box was properly prepared and ready to do what I needed to do, right? Had I read the books and did all that stuff, I probably could have got it done the first time the right way. But I found that putting a potato in there and letting it die out and letting it move around, it prepares for the next time, right? And like I said, 3 harvests, and that's 9-month time. And now every time I put a potato in there, I get at least 15 to 20 pounds of potatoes, right? So much so that this time, when it outgrew the box, the vines carried over to the grass behind it, and I threw wood shavings on top of it, and now I'm growing potatoes in wood shavings on top of the dirt that is also digging down into the soil, right? So I'm gonna have potatoes in a box on top of the ground in wood shavings and burrowed down into the ground itself.
Okay. You leaning up towards one of my questions. I'm about to get to it.
Or my bad.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, listen, this is a good interview because you're flowing right with my question perfectly. So my next question is along the lines of what you were saying. I was gonna ask you, do you purchase compost or do you make your own? And it sounds like what you're doing is you making your own compost.
Yeah, so that's those things. So I got chickens, right? So because I have chickens, I got an advantage over a lot of other people, right? So I could take their waste and turn their bed and use that for extra fertilizer and stuff like that. But making your own compost, everything, like all the trash, all the old food, just throw it to the side. It's not a hard thing, right? It's really not a big deal. And yeah, that soil game is not a real big deal, right? It just might fail the first time,
Mm-hmm.
right? That second time it won't be great, but you're gonna have produce, right? You're gonna be productive. It's gonna be enough to be like, yo, I'm gonna do this again, right? And then it's like boom, and then it's like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna do this again, and it's like bang, and then it just start growing everywhere. And now I got food around my whole house, and I'm like, yo, see, I told myself.
Yeah, I like your methods, man, because you learning, and the
As
way
I
you
go.
doing it, you learn it as you go. You like, listen, I can read a book if I want to, or
Yeah,
I can teach myself. And you are correct with the chickens, because when I was doing this and I was studying into it, I noticed people that had chickens had the advantage over the other people because they could move the chicken box and they would use that area to plant their crop. And they'd move the chicken box, move the chicken. It's like the chickens will rake it for them, or it'll till the
yeah,
ground. Or basically, the chickens till the ground for you
yeah,
and fertilize it. It's
yeah,
a 2 for 1.
yeah, yeah.
It's a two for one.
I got an aquaponics mindset to farming, right? I want everything that I need. I want to be able to produce everything that I need for the things that I need that's gonna make me money, right? Like the eggs, the meat. I gotta be able to grow my food for my chickens, right? That needs to be something that's sustainable. Like their waste goes back into the soil. Like everything is it can go around as many times as I possibly can, right?
Well, break that down then, Alu. Break it down because we keep the word aquaponics keep coming down, and you kind of explaining it now, but kind of break it down for people that may not have an understanding of what aquaponics is or aquaponics system is. Kind of break that down, and you keep talking about, everything's going around in a circle. It's a process. It's a step. So can you break that down?
Yeah. So aquaponics, right, is a method where is a combination of aquaculture on one side, which is the raising and cultivation of fish, either for consumables or for the pet trade. And then you have hydroponics, which is the practice of growing fruits and vegetables in soil as media. So you use like clay balls, rocks, like anything you can just use water with like a styrofoam and let it float on top, sitting in a little cup. Just no dirt, right? So that's hydroponics. When you merge those two together, what you do is you eliminate the weaknesses of both systems, right? Because with aquaculture, the weakness that you have is the fish waste, right? Mm-hmm. So if you ever had a fish tank, like the fish tank is cool for as long as the filter is clean and working,
right?
But as soon as that joint go bad, you got to change your water. You got to get a new filter. Unless you have some place to put that water productively, you're just gonna throw it away and dump it, right? So that's adding pollutants into the environment. That's adding bad smells to your house. Depending on your situation. When you put it with aquaponics, that waste from the fish, it gets converted into plant food, right? So now you don't have to buy nutrients to put into your hydroponic system, right? Because you'll find that the number one nutrient out there that they sell is fish fertilizer, right? So that's so I'm telling folks, you can get you a 10-gallon fish tank and a bucket, and you can just use your fish waste every time you change your fish tank to fertilize your plants. If you think you don't have a lot of space, right? So when I started this thing, I started it with a bunch of different things on my mind, right? A lot of my family still living in Brooklyn, living in apartments that don't have as much space as I do. A lot of people have a lot of excuses or a lot of reasons for why they can't grow their own food. And I'm a problem solver by nature, right? Like no matter how much I try to avoid it, if there's a problem in front of me that's resolvable, then I can't do nothing but help to resolve that. So I came with a bunch of different systems, a bunch of different ways for no matter where you live at, you can grow. So the most easiest thing I found, besides a 1-barrel aquaponic system, which is a 55-gallon drum where you cut the top of it off 1/3 and you flip that upside down and use that for your grow bed. That sits in a corner somewhere, right? And that's just a 55-gallon drum, and you just need one pump and a hose, and it's just a constant flow. You can have your little fish down in the bottom, right? If you don't want to eat them, you can get some Oscars, some goldfish, something that's gonna make a lot of waste.
Them Oscars will litter it up, boy. My homeboy used to have some Oscars, man. They get kind of big too.
Yo, but Oscars are food though, right? Like that's a consumable.
So you can eat Oscars?
Yeah, bro. Like I've been learning so many things. Yo.
I did not know you could eat Oscars. I mean, they get big as your hand.
They get big, bro. Like they get big.
And that was my next question: was what kind of animals? What kind of fish or animals you can use in growing the aquaponics? You talk about fish. So what kind of fish you just? I don't know what an Oscar. Y'all laughing. I don't know what an Oscar is. So
Oscar is like a cousin to like a pacu, or I guess a pacu and a piranha. It's like it's just a big aggressive fish. You know, they get nice and thick. You know, be good on the.
A lot of people have them in their houses, Kofi. When you go over there, when you go over people's houses, that's a common fish that people have in their fish tank. So
that's like pit bulls. Oscars and pit bulls. Are like
it's the pit bull of fish.
Is that the same fish that was on Bad Boys when he was calling Vargas and Reyes?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
This damn right here.
Okay, he's showing.
Man, that's Vargas and Reyes right there. Y'all know y'all seen Bad Boys too. That's one of y'all favorite movies too. Y'all don't act like y'all don't know.
Yeah, I just watched 3 the other day. Yeah. Yeah, you can also use. Can't you use like shrimp and snails and tilapia?
You said you asked me what kind of fish, right?
Yeah.
So shrimp are saltwater, right? Even though I keep hearing about these freshwater shrimp, I haven't been able to find them. But as far as fish, you could like barramundi, trout. You can do any kind of bass, peacock bass, largemouth bass, tilapia, of course, catfish. When I first started, I started out with catfish. And actually what I tried to do, right, I made a big post on Facebook, and this was before people took me seriously. I was like, yo, who got a fish tank, right? Like we can all get together and if we can put in an order of 1,000 fish, we'll be paying like 15 cents a fish, right? Like, and it takes 9 months for a catfish to go from fingerling to your plate. So I'm like, for 15 cents, like you just, you know, throw them leftovers every day to feed them, and he's just gonna get big on you.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, you can do pretty much any kind of freshwater fish or any kind of local fish that's in your area that you want, really.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I've been, been researching a lot of it, man, myself, man. But one more question, Sutek, because I know Sutek and Ra, I know you got some more questions, and I just want to kind of stay on this aquaponics thing because we keep mentioning aquaponics, and you can get back into your questions, Sutek. That's cool, Sutek. Sutek and Ra. He might have walked away, but okay. So, what kind of vegetables can you grow in aquaponics?
Just about all, right? So I have a moringa tree growing out of my aquaponics. I had a mango tree growing out of my aquaponics. I got collard greens in there right now. I have kale. I have shadow benny, or what they call cilantro, growing. I got some kind of beans or peas back there. Like, so the aquaponics is kind of tough, right? Because you can just throw seeds in there to see what grows, and what grows. So yeah, just about anything, right? Like I had potatoes, I had sweet potatoes growing, and I was so excited. But then I came out there one day and a predator came and actually dug up all my substrate and just started, like, the whole half of my sweet potato was just all chewed out, and I was devastated. So I was like, all right. So I had to build a whole big fence, put chicken wire up over everything. It got crazy.
Yeah. So Tep, you got any more questions, man, before I continue?
Yeah. I had I think I had about 1 or 2 more questions.
Yeah, you good? Go ahead.
Okay, so this is important. These last 2 is really important. When it comes to dealing with insects, outside of companion planting, what do you use to get rid of them?
So
first of all, are you familiar with companion planting? And I know you are, and we talk about what it is here.
Yeah, so for me personally, I've tried the mint planting the mints, tried the coffee beans. I tried all the eggshell, crushed up eggshells to keep the caterpillars off the ground and stuff. I tried neem oil. I've tried all of the organic. I've tried all kind of different peppers. The only thing that I found that has worked for me every single time has been peroxide water.
Peroxide water.
Peroxide water,
That's
right?
the one.
So if you dilute your peroxide water, 1 part peroxide, 3 parts water, and shoot your leaves underneath your leaves and on top of your leaves, it'll get rid of all your aphids. It'll keep all your bugs and pests off your plants. You just got to do it on a regular, right? Because every time it rains or every time your sprinkler system or you water them, you washing it off. So it just got to be like a routine. So and once they stay away, then they just like, all right, he played too much. They just leave you alone.
Said we done with it because we know insects, man, they could take a harvest out.
Yo, so at the same time, right, like they are a blessing, because in my ignorance, when I first had my banana peppers growing, my bird peppers growing, I had a tree full of peppers. I had no idea when I was supposed to be harvesting and picking these peppers, right? They were just getting bigger and bigger, and they were just filling up the bush. And so we started picking them, but we wasn't picking them fast enough. Man, I came out there the next day. It was like from day to day, and I ain't had no leaves on this bush. Yo, I had caterpillars on this thing thicker than my finger, like super long. I'm like, yo, this is bananas, and they eating everything. So when that happened, they got all the rest of the peppers on the tree, all the leaves. What that made me do was, so my time to harvest is I gotta beat the caterpillars, right? And once I started beating the caterpillars, my peppers started growing way more regular, right? I don't get the pests, but I'm always getting high yields,
Right.
So the pests are good, right? Like it's not always a negative. It could just be meaning it's something for you to do.
Right.
Because like the history part that's important is our ancestors did these things for a reason, right? Like when Kofi was talking about the hunter gathering, and if you can think about a time where folks are hungry, and if I go out there and catch something, and we not necessarily cool, but you got a family to feed too, and I'm on my way back. I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm looking at lunch, right? You might want to keep going and hunting, but I think if I'm walking by with some meat and your kids are hungry, I think you might just take mine. Right. So this farming stuff is important because it allows us to fill in the gaps. Right. It doesn't give you everything, but it gives you so much of the necessities that everything is available.
Yeah. That's a good way to answer that. Let's see. I think that might have been it, Kofi.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was it for what I had typed down. Now, something come to me.
Hey, Sister Julanda.
Yeah, peace, sis Juju.
Beautiful Hootie. Yeah, so let's any brother else got something they would like to ask Alu before Ali. I see, because he just hit me. That's the same brother I put the link in. He just asked me what this link was for.
Yeah, I told you to have a whole different show.
Yeah, but go ahead. Somebody else. So
yeah, I don't have a question per se because pretty much everything is being answered. But I was introduced to aquaponics years ago by way of a brother up here in Chi-Town. And like I had nobody else had really talked about it except for when I linked up with like Sateb and believe a couple of bills me and Kofi have talked about farming and growing, and we've mentioned aquaponics, but I've never seen anyone else really build on it in depth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Breaking it down, letting you know, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is how you do it. And the brother that I met here years ago, everything that this brother Ali is saying, that's what that brother was saying. Like, he was like, everything is about problem solving. That's why I put that in the chat. So you're presented with a problem, and then what do you do to, because nature is communicating with you and having a conversation with you. She letting you know what she needs from you in order for her to help you. Help her help you. So the I feel like this is a word that we throw around in the conscious community. Everything is the science, right? The science of it. So the science of aquaponics really allows you to, number one, you become more educated and smarter by connecting with the rest of nature, with yourself, because we know that us in nature, that's why we want the broccoli and the kale, because we get healthy from eating that stuff. It replaces things that we lose over time from living. And so we have to constantly ingest these things and break those nutrients down in order to function. So by developing a stronger relationship with yourself, you help yourself have a better experience while we're here. Because like, you could have a farm and you could have chickens and cows and everything, you could be doing your thing, but specifically what we're building on right here is, this is a, like the brother said, a no excuse zone. Like when it comes to my training with people, like when I would train people, I tell them it ain't no excuses of why you can't lose the weight. It's just you didn't do what I asked you to do, and you're not doing what I'm doing in front of you. So for someone to say that they can't grow their own food, you're right. You can't, because you won't allow yourself, you won't get out your own way, and you keep saying it out your mouth. I just wanted to highlight, not to take away from the brother in this bill, just the fact that I met someone years ago, and not only were they doing what this brother is doing, but they had the exact same mindset. So I formed my conclusion to say that it forces you to have this mindset of, nah, we're gonna have to problem solve and troubleshoot, right? I might have had trouble getting on the link. So I would have had to do some troubleshooting just to get on here, right? So why won't we if we can troubleshoot some piece of technology, which is a lot further removed than that kale and them sweet potatoes, etc., that this brother is growing, why can't we troubleshoot our own problem with growing our own food? And with that said, I pass the mic.
No doubt.
Hey, if I can just add on real quick, like, that's peace though, right? Because I can definitely say that building an aquaponic system, like just building it alone, makes you smarter, right? Because it's not just putting the pieces together, plugging the pump up, and now it's on. Like, you really got to get flow rates right. It takes about a month for your whole system is ready before you can either put any fish in it, before you can put plants in it. Like you got to kill fish in order to get your system right, for the fish that you want to put in there to actually cultivate, right? And in just that process of why didn't it work, or why is it taking so long to fill up? Why didn't it drain out all the way? Do I have a leak somewhere? You just start putting pieces together in your brain that just makes you function better as a human, right? And it makes you think about everything better. And I say better because it's like, what's your problem, right? Fix that. Fix the thing that's standing in front of you right now. That other thing that's waiting after that, you deal with that next, right? But right now, like my system is not flooding. It's not draining. Why not? Right? Do I need to add more water? Like, it's not getting enough pressure. Do I need to lower my pump? Do I need to raise it? Like, is my pump clogged? Right? Like, all these these variables goes into it, but it's so worth it because everything that you put in, you literally are consuming, right? You are literally benefiting from it, right? We eat so that we can complete tasks, right? Not the other way around, right? So if we can actively produce the food that we need to produce everywhere else, like we ain't nothing but producers, right? Like we just keep on winning, right? It's just a state of abundance all the way around. Like we just keep winning and winning and winning and winning, right? All that, like that's why all that book stuff is cool, but at some point you've learned the lesson and now you got to apply it, right? Like if you keep reading the ABCs over and over again, like you're gonna know them really, really well, but how do you know for real?
Right. Any other brother got and real quick with that, with what you talking about setting the pump and stuff up. We know, like if you go look out on certain other farms, they got sprinkler systems and stuff that water. And I can just imagine the bill. But with this aquaponics, you know, you don't have an outrageous bill because you don't need that much water. Am I correct?
So you don't have an outrageous bill every month. So my fish tank for my aquaponic system is 330 gallons, right? The sump tank that holds the water that is the water supply for the fish tank and for the grow bed has about 250 gallons of water in it. My grow bed itself has a capacity of about 100 gallons of water, right? So with aquaponics, the benefit is you got to do that once. And every month, maybe, you got to just top it off because natural evaporation, like the sun is always shining. And water is wet, so hot things make wet things evaporate. So besides that, is just a little fill up and it's done. And if you stay on top of that, that's not even a big deal.
Oh, no doubt, because I was just thinking about that. Any other brothers got anything? Because I got like 2 questions, man. We 58 minutes in. We try not to make the show, but an hour or no longer than an hour and a half. My son calling. So any other brother on the panel got? Hey, hold on, y'all. My son just calling. Any other brother got any questions for our good brother?
Nah, I ain't got no question, but I do want to say this is a dope conversation and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have a question, but with problem solving, I would feel like I'm not being fair to the audience out there on a problem solving solution. And this is speaking for those who may have the problem of economically getting started. In those cases, a lot of the Black families receive food stamps. With that, you can buy seeds or live plants with your food stamps and start in-home or community gardens with that. So now you're taking that resource and you're producing a way to start going into production for yourself. I don't want to get too long-winded on that, but that's something you could do. And it's also a way that you can give your kids live plants to learn to practice as well in those situations. I just wanted to throw that out for anybody who may need to know things like that. I mean, it's something to really, really consider. I mean, just think about it. If you get, and I say that because one of the most irritating things I've ever seen in my life is people selling their food stamps knowing their kids got to eat. That irritates me to a higher level. So if you're going to go to that level, at least give them kids a chance to grow their own food out of that deal. Whether you need that 20 or that 40, whatever it may be, some cases I get it, you need to, but when it's done maliciously, I can't stand it, and give them babies a fair chance. So it's just something to consider, a conversation to throw out there that I feel we need to know. So I'll go back to mute.
No doubt. Yeah, so, and again, like, you know, we keep talking about aquaponics and your system. And again, it's you feeding the fish, excuse me, and the fish feeding the plants. Now, the benefits, talk to us about the benefits of aquaponics. And I'm asking that question, you know, for me, but I know somebody else may be, you know, may want to, you know, or, you know, consider, you know, going into changing or swapping their forms and using aquaponics. So what is some of the benefits? Like, okay, yeah, you know, like what are some of the benefits for using the aquaponic system when forming?
Yeah, nah. So the benefit of using aquaponics is the hydroponic aspect of it, right? So now you can, like I said, I have a 330-gallon fish tank out there, right? So the potentiality for the amount of plants that I could provide for is kind of ridiculous, right? You can set up with just PVC pipes and bored holes and a Dixie cup. You can have as many holes as you can fit in a PVC pipe. That's how many plants you can have, right? You can build your garden up a wall, you know, over your doorway, and it's self-contained, right? You can make it as pretty as you want. You can make it as big as you want. Like they are, like it. Aquaponics just makes it more, just gives you more options, right? Again, you can keep a traditional one fish tank with the grow bed sitting on top, right? And that's what you have. Or you can take that same barrel and feed it into more PVC pipes up along a wall. You can and make it as pretty as you want. You can have just more options, right? I find that, I don't know, I think it's easier to move. I think like the only negative is just the water, but I got mine set up on a pallet, so you just need a pallet jack to jack it up and move it around. I'm gonna be hard pressed to find a hard thing to say about growing anything, right? Because I'm telling you, you just need a bucket and a seed and some soil, and you can grow anywhere. That's where I thought the brother was going with the food stamps, right? I thought he was gonna take it to, you know, why people can't because they don't make enough money, and I'm like, nah, they sell buckets for $5.
Right. Right. And you know, it's, you know, you can, like you said earlier, you say if you don't have a lot of space, aquaponics will definitely be a good system. Right, right. What about you know, it doesn't it look, from what I read, doesn't it make you know, you know, your plants and stuff are healthier because you can't use pesticides. Am I correct with the aquaponic system? Because it would.
Yeah, so if you use any pesticides, I don't use any pesticides, period. Like the only thing I use is peroxide water.
Right.
Right. Because anything else will kill your fish. But what I found in just general, like just that constant flow of that moving water, that nutrient rich water, I have better growth in my aquaponic system than I do in my above ground raised bed garden and my in-ground garden. Right. It is better. I've seen that. It's kind of like my chickens, and I'm not the chickens, but the eggs. My eggs are different visually than the eggs you get from your grocery store. Even the ones that say that they are organic like mine and free range like mine, I can see the visual difference. When I'm whipping them up, I can feel the textural difference. Right. I can even, when I weigh them, even one of my small eggs will still weigh the same as the large brown eggs that you get in the from the store.
Okay.
Right. So it's just better. So I don't really have anything negative to say about growing. Just got to do it.
Right. I got two questions. I got two more questions for you, man.
Word.
One is, a person like me is green to, you know, because we're dealing with aquaponics, still talking about aquaponic system. What would be, and I know you mentioned a few little things earlier, of what you need, but can you kind of explain to me and the listening audience what, like I said, you kind of already talked about it a little bit, but can you reiterate a little bit, what's the setup? What all we would definitely need to definitely start it? Like I said, you kind of already touched on it a little bit, but can you touch on it again, real
Yeah,
quick?
nah, no doubt. So first you need to decide how many grow beds you want, right? How much space you want to use for food, right? And so you whatever that number is, that's your initial start off number. You need a fish tank and you need a sump tank. So you need those 2 tanks guaranteed plus however many grow beds you want, right? So my system, because of the pipe setups, it is big enough, or came big enough to supply 3 different grow beds. But that's 1 IBC tote, 2 IBC totes, and 3 IBC totes gives me my fish tank, my sump tank, and when I cut them, it gives me the grow beds that I need to actually grow my food, right? But all you need is just the fish tank, just a sump tank, and the purpose of the sump tank is if you had the pump inside your fish tank, your water will be coming from your fish tank, and the level of the water will go down every time that the grow bed needs to fill up, right? So your fish will get stressed out with the constant rise and flow of the water. So you use a sump tank to alleviate that. So your fish tank stays at a constant level. You always have 330 gallons in there, no matter what. All right, and that's it. Like, it's a real. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, when you build it, like whatever fears you have, it's like the perfect thing to do, because it's gonna work, and you're gonna feel good about it, right? And then you're gonna grow some. It's like, yo, this was too easy, right? And then you're just gonna become a plumber, right? You're just gonna understand gravity. You're just gonna start just really. This is gonna make you better, bro.
No doubt, because that's good. I'm trying to pull something up real quick. And that was interesting because I seen a pump inside. It's just a lit drawing, man, that I seen. Hold on, let me see if I can get it real quick. Where it said. That's not it. Hold on. All right, here it is. Let me click on this little link right here, and I'll share my screen and show. Let me go back over here. All right, let me share my screen real quick. All right. All right. Let me go back over my screen sharing, y'all.
Yeah, it's coming up.
All right. And I done seen a couple of them like that, so that was it's just a lit drawing, but I can pull up a couple of more images, and that's what I seen. I seen like the ones, and and they didn't go in detail about the pump inside the tank. So here it is right here. Right here, just a lit drawing that they had. And see, they had their tank look like their pump is inside their tank.
Correct.
Yeah, and I seen it, and a couple of them I was Googling a couple of images just to see in real time. Some of them had them in there, so it's better not to have the tank inside of your fish tank, is what you're basically saying.
So again, right, if like those fish in that drawing look like goldfish to me.
Yeah.
So those fish look like they are only used for the purpose of providing nutrients to those plants.
Right.
So in this picture, this guy don't give no crap about these fish, so they can get as stressed out as they want. Right. But if it's something that you want to eat yourself, you want that food to be as least stressed out as possible. I said that right. Least stressed out. Yeah.
Okay. Right. And it's just a lit drawing, man. Everybody has a lit aquaponic system. And again, like, he keeps talking about a tank, a pump, and your plants. And like, it's just a cycle. He feed the fish, and from the waste, the fish waste feeds the plants. I mean, that's dope, man. That's interesting, man. Let me start sharing my
It's gonna be way better when you do it, Kofi.
Yeah. I'm definitely, man,
It's gonna
gonna
be way
try.
better, bro. Like I'm telling you, just don't waste too much time thinking about what you want to do. Just do one quick one, right? And when you get it, then you can just go crazy, bro.
Yeah. I'm definitely, man. Yeah, man, and your company, man, you and your wife company, man. Can you tell people the names and explain the name behind the company and what your company offers?
Yeah, so the name of my company is Sol Entities LLC, right? And we have products. The products that we have are BK Soul Farm, right? That's our poultry farm where we have eggs, we have chickens, we have all kind of veggies and stuff like that. We have another product that we have called Soul Stitchings, right? That's where we make all of our garments because, right, it's food, clothing, shelter, and the protection of that. So I'm getting food on lock. Clothing is this is the lab for the clothing right here, right? This is Soul Stitches behind me. And we just trying to lock down everything like that. We also have I started a group called Us Supporting Us, right? I was looking for taking Brother Garfield's idea of 100-man and woman team, and taking what I learned in masonry and applying it for myself, right? I look for a group of people that wanted to build and make money, right? That was willing to learn with me, to trust each other enough to want to build and make money with each other, right? So I got a good group of folks that found it not robbery to follow the God, right? So that's dope. I joined a team. That company name is called Concrete Investments. Is another group of brothers that I actually met at work who gravitated towards me that want to do the exact same thing that I'm doing, right? But they didn't want to be a part of the Us Supporting Us. They wanted to have more ownership and feel more power, right? So they formed their own joint, and I joined that. So I'm all about joining teams, and I'm about winning. So, bksoulfarm.com if you're looking for a cool mug, t-shirts are coming soon, hoodies. We got nice face masks on there, iPhone covers, Samsung covers. We just getting out there, just trying to do what we need to do to make sure that we can feed ourselves and our families, right? So that's what we got.
No doubt. I'm gonna have to get something else. I had I think about 2 or 3 masks from your wife a while back here.
Yeah, that was so you bought masks. I said masks. You bought masks from Soul Stitchings, right?
Yeah.
Those masks were handmade by my wife specifically.
Right.
Right, like right back there. I still pointed to the wrong side.
Yeah, man. So definitely go support the brother.
What's the name of the website again, Sam?
BK Soul Farm, Bravo Kilo Sierra Oscar Lima, Foxtrot Alpha Romeo Mike.com.
You so military, bro. You so military.
Yo, you know what? Nah, because so I joined delayed entry when I was 16, right?
Yeah.
And I actually went to boot camp when I was 17. So Brooklyn, where I was born and raised, but I actually grew up and learned life in the military. So certain things I just can't get rid of.
Yeah. I never been in the military, but I worked for Camp Shelby. I don't know. It's one of the biggest bases around in Mississippi, and a lot of people that we before they get ready to move out, they come there and train. It's like a training facility. So I done seen people from all over, from each state come there, man, and train.
Yeah.
And I was down there when they was in Iraq and then in Afghanistan back in 2001. I think was it from 2001 maybe to 2006 or 7. I can't remember when they pulled out. So I was down there. I worked in logistics. I was a civilian, but I worked with the military. So I used to order the stuff when they got ready to train. I would order whatever the supply sergeants needed. And then when they got ready to leave and go to Iraq or Afghanistan, I ordered all the supplies that they would need when they got over there, man. So and I worked at Camp Shelby for like 10 years, man. And if they wouldn't have changed it from a Moban base, I would have definitely still, I definitely would have still been down there because I had a business, and it gave me access because out of the 8 hours I worked at on the base, I only worked maybe 2 hours, and it gave me, access where I can leave and go to my other business and, see what's
A lot
going
of freedom.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gave me a lot of freedom, man. So
Yeah.
that's why I stayed down there for so long, man, for those 10 years. But I definitely would have been still down. They got the link in the chat.
Oh, that's
So
what's up. That's peace.
yeah, so go and click the link, man, and support our good brother Ali. Do any other brothers on the panel got in? And we like an hour and 16 minutes in, man. It's been a great interview. I know I learned a lot, and I hope the people in the audience took some away from this interview, learned something, got inspired, and exactly what you said, man. I'm all for joining teams myself. That's the reason why I'm a part of the Sexuality Meta Nature. I'm a part of the Mossi Warrior Clan. I'm a part of the Kofi Piesie research team, and then I'm trying to do some, boots on the ground. I'm gonna have to get back into what I was trying to do. I was, we was building. I was telling you about the organization I was trying to start. So, that's the African way, man. You know what I'm saying? We understand that, team wins. 4 hands is better than 2 hands.
Facts.
8 hands is better than, you can accomplish a lot and get a lot of, things
Absolute
accomplished.
facts.
So, man, it's been, like I said, man, it's been a great interview. My son had called me 2 times. I'm going to call a little bit. But any other brothers, man, got anything, man, else before we wrap up this interview?
I had one quick question for the brother, if y'all don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Being the fact that you're in Florida and doing what you're doing, have you considered shipping some of your live plants that people can't necessarily start in specific regions?
So for growing purposes, I've shipped moringa and leaf for life and amaranth or spinach to South Carolina to one of my homeboys, trying to see how far we can take stuff, right? Because I don't necessarily trust what I read in the books. I wanna know for myself what works and what don't work. But as far as food though, like we definitely are able to freeze greens and put them in the mail and ship them out.
And I asked that I live in Oklahoma, and I happen to have a lemon tree once upon a time, and it got to about 3 feet in height, and it produced lemons, and man, they was delicious. I had no idea that they were so beautiful. It happened to be my favorite plant of all time after I seen how pretty it was, and I just haven't been able to get one again, to actually grow and sustain itself. I learned that I had to keep it in-house because of our winter.
Yeah. Like you can also like people they cover they plants and stuff with plastic bags, kind of like creating like a greenhouse effect. Those are things you can also do for that. But if you can bring them in a house, that's like the best thing. But if you can't, cover them up.
Yeah, you was gonna have a customer, man, if you were shipping them out. I want another lemon tree so bad, man. They just so pretty. I don't think people get how pretty they are when they blossom.
Yeah, they nice.
They pretty.
They nice.
Yeah, I got an orange tree out there. I got oranges out there, man. Now, man, I'm scared to eat them things, man. I need to go out there and
man, you better go eat them oranges.
Man, I'm scared to eat them. My wife took some off the tree and took them to work, and her supervisor ate them. He said they was good and sweet, man, but I'm scared to eat them things.
Man, this is your backyard, man.
Yeah, I'm ready to go get me some, man. Maybe some fresh squeezed orange juice.
Man, when you take something right from the plant, it's a totally different effect. It's not even a taste. It's a different effect you get.
Everything is different. Everything is different.
Yeah. But man, if anybody else ain't got anything, man, real quick, man, please go and support the brother. Again, that's BK soulfarm.com. Again, that is BK soulfarm.com. Please go support our brother Ali Dawoud. Also, man, please go to KofiPieSideTV.com, man, and pick up some of these publications. Again, I ain't gonna run through the books, but again, just go, support. Pick up one of these good publications. We work hard with these publications. Again, the show is called Warrior Scholars. So go pick you up a shirt, a Warrior Scholar shirt. It has a logo of the Warrior Scholars on the front, Warrior Scholars on the back. Other shirt, and that's at Mboka Family Connected Apparel, or just you can go to Google Mboka MBOKA Family Connect Apparel, or you can just type in your search bar www.familyconnectapparel.com, and we have tons of clothing on there from the brands. We got the Mboka brand on there. We have the Kofi Piesie Research brand, the Mossi Warrior Clan brand. We have the Niger Valley Civilization brand. We also working on a revolutionary brand. We already have Thomas Sakara shirts up there. We have Bay Beret shirts up there. We're gonna have a few other shirts up there. A few other designs that's coming pretty soon, man. So please, man, go and support us, man. Go and support us. Yeah, man, that's about it, man. Let me stop sharing my screen. Brother Ali, you got, I'm finna still call you Ali. Ali, you got any last words, man, you wanna share, man, before we end the screen?
Yeah, no, I just want to say peace, and I want to thank you and the team, right, for giving me this opportunity. Everybody has a responsibility. Every human being on this planet has a responsibility to provide food, clothing, shelter, and the protection of that for themselves first, and then their families, right? Like that's not just an African thing. That's not a Spanish thing. That's if you are a looking and breathing human being, right? You gotta eat. You need clothes. You need shelter, right? And you need to protect those things so that you can have a tomorrow, right? And I'm all about tomorrows, and all the tomorrows to come. So if you got food, grow it. There's no excuses, right? All you need is a bucket and a seed and some dirt. You can grow in sand. You can grow in rocks. You can grow on top of the dirt without even digging. Like, it's so many things you can do today, 2021. And if you're not growing food, it's simply because you don't want to. Right. And that's my piece.
All right, man. So again, man, we we greatly appreciate you for coming on, because we understand, everybody's got a lot of stuff going on, and, we value everybody's time. So anytime somebody come on here, man, we appreciate, man, you forfeiting a little of your time, man, to come on, man, and speak and share, man. So, man, we definitely, man, appreciate you, man, for coming on the platform, man. Keep putting out them videos, man. Like I said, it's motivating me, man. I'm just waiting on it to warm up, man, because it's cold, man. It's cold out here in Mississippi, man. So again, man, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate everybody else also in the chat, man, that's been tuning in, whether you popped in, popped out, or you stayed the whole duration of the interview, man. We greatly appreciate you too, because we appreciate you, forfeiting a little of your time, man, just to listen to what we got to say, man. So again, man, we appreciate everybody, man. I want to say peace and Black African Power. I said Shemim Hotep. I said ETM Hotep in the beginning, which means bring forth peace, because this is a peaceful platform over here. So we're gonna say Shemim Hotep. Shemim Hotep just means to depart in peace. So again, peace and Black African Power, man, and we'll see y'all when we see y'all. Well, later on, we'll be back this evening with the book discussion, Destruction of Black Civilization, by our great ancestor, Chancellor Williams. On that note, man, we out. Peace.